Hello, everybody. My name is Navjot, and I'm a case manager for mental wellness. And today we have our special guest, Sukhpreet Kaur Tiwara, and then she is our case manager for peer support worker. And she usually assigns peer support workers to individuals. So today we're gonna talk about like how are they gonna help a child or a parent if they need help too. So we usually say like there is a parent children conflict, there's a teen conflict, and in the families they feel like, oh, nobody is there to support me. So how, Sukhpreet, you gonna support a child or a parent? Like, what do you think as a peer support worker, case manager, how would you going to tackle that situation?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. So yes, like Navjot mentioned, I am the peer support worker with the mental health team. Basically, how we would kind of support them is we would look at them separately. So as a peer support worker, I would either work with the child and kind of go over some of like any conflicts that they're having, because the whole concept of peer support is a lot of these people want somebody to listen to them, right?
Yes.
So when there's parent and children conflicts, sometimes they feel like they're not being heard by their parents, right? Whether it's, you can't always talk back to your
Sure.
parents or whatever the case might be. So I, as a peer support worker, would then step in and, talk to the kid, hear them out, see how they're feeling. And then I would kind of talk to them about how, in culture, sometimes cultural issues that
Yes.
we've had. So we related to our own experience. So I myself come from an Punjabi family, and there have been cultural differences. So I can relate that to the child and kind of help them out the best I can. So
Yes. So
yeah.
what is the eligibility criteria? Like if child or a parent, any of them like wants peer support workers, so what would be the eligibility for child and parent?
Yeah, so for the parent, it's honestly any age, because I have clients ranging from all the way from 18 to like 57, right? So again, I know I talked a lot about the, helping out the youth, but you can also help out the parent as well. For the peer support program, it's 16 and up. So anyone 16 and up is eligible for peer support.
All right. And do you think we need consent of child or parent? Like, in some programs, like if a child is 16, we need the consent of their parents too. And then we need to share whatever we are doing with the child, like to the parents and stuff. And do you think like in this program, if a child is taking support from the program, and then if you feel like, oh, this is the thing is happening, you should actually tell the parents about it? Is there any scene like this?
So for majority of my clients are 18 and up. So obviously for 18 and up, we would not need consent of the parents. But let's say if they are 16, we will need consent that they are getting services. But again, we have that, client confidentiality. Whatever they do share with me, I would not share with the parents unless they give me permission. And unless, if it's harming themselves or others, then I would have to report it as well.
Yes.
But overall, I would not. We have the confidentiality, even if they are, children or youth, that we would kind of keep the conversation between ourselves. And that is really important to them as well because they want to be able to share those things. But again, if it is in any way a conversation that's going to harm them or them, anyone else, then I would have to.
That's amazing. And then, do you think before before enrolling that in your program, so what are the policies and the confidential forms, like you have to get signatures from the child or parents?
Yeah, so it's very similar to case management, right? So we have the privacy confidentiality that we have to get signed, either verbal or written. If it's 18 and up, then it would just be the client. They would sign off on the form that they give permission, sometimes even to give medical records, depending on if they have any mental health background. So we would get all that privacy and confidentiality. And then the parents would just have to sign off that they're getting the services. And then the client themselves, even if they're 16, would still have to give me permission that it's okay for us to talk about their medical history and all
That's
that.
good. I think this program is actually good where a parent and teen or child having a conflict with the cultural background, or like and a child is learning like a new environment in a new school, like having new friends, and that they don't even understand like what's going on in the thing. And then I do feel like whoever a child, if it's coming, they're coming from back home just for study here, the parents are already there. Doesn't make sense like if the parents are still here, like, they will be okay to adapt that environment so quickly, right? I think it's still good to have a peer support worker So here I have a question. Do you think you're gonna assign the peer support worker from the school if a child is actually in a school, or it will be always from the background, like anywhere, like it should not be like just from the school, like just it could be
Yeah.
from the community too.
Definitely from the community. Like, so my clients that I have now are mostly from the community, right? So it could be people that we've received referrals for.
Okay.
The whole concept of peer support is people who need that extra support. Either
Yes.
they're isolated, a lot of the, children, maybe even parents themselves, right?
Yes.
Are isolated, don't have anyone to talk to, don't know who they can go to get this kind of advice, right?
Yes.
And we know there can be a lot of cultural differences for kids and parents being here in Canada. And the point of peer support is being someone to relate to, right? So me as a peer support worker, I have to have that common experience, so being a child of an immigrant, I know some of these cultural conflicts that can arise between parents and children. So, the whole point is to kind of make a comfortable environment for them to talk to, whether it's the parent or whether it's the
That's
child.
good to know.
Yeah.
And one last thing, Sukhpreet, do you want to tell our audience, like, you guys do search for peer support workers, like you actually hire volunteers and stuff, anybody is interested?
Yeah, definitely. So I have a dual role here. I'm also the peer support volunteer and student coordinator. So we do look for a lot of peer support volunteers that will help out clients. So peer support, again, is like a lived experience, either with mental health, addictions, or if you come from a similar background like myself to, the Indian community. We're always looking for people who are very passionate and want to help out their community and kind of just share what they've learned in their lived experience with mental health and addictions and bring that to the clients. So
That's good. Thank you so much,
awesome. Thank you.
Sukhpreet. Thank you, guys. Take care.